Hello everybody, do you feel difficulty in finding the amount of text from graph? If yes, then this video is for you. I'm gonna teach you how to find amount of text from graph in most simple way. First of all, you have to draw demand curve and then draw supply curve to find out initial equilibrium price. This is initial equilibrium price, which is P, and this is initial equilibrium quantity, which is Q. Now, if government imposes indirect tax as a basic principle of demand and supply curve will shift to the left from S to S1. New equilibrium takes place at point E1, where new price which consumers will pay is P1. And to find out per unit tax, what we do is we have to find out the vertical gap between two supply curves. For example, if we have these two supply curves, then what we do is we find vertical gap, that is gap AB between two supply curves to find out per unit tax. So from new equilibrium E1, you have to draw perpendicular to initial supply curve and you will get point A here, and now you can connect it to the y-axis. Price producers will get is P2, and you can also label this point as B. For example, in this graph, per unit tax is equal to E1A or P1 P2, and to find out total amount of tax, what we have to do is we have to multiply this perpendicular E1A to the quantity, and we will get total area P1 E1 A and P2 as a total amount of tax. Out of this tax, consumers will pay this much amount is paid by consumers, and this much amount is paid by producers. So tax on consumer is equal to P1 E1 B and P, and tax burden on producer is equal to P P2 A and B. So this is how we can find out total amount of tax, and we can find out the tax burden on consumers and producers. Tax burden will entirely fall on consumer, entirely fall on producer, or it may be contributed between both. And these scenarios have been explained in another video. If you are interested to know when tax burden will entirely fall on consumer, producer, or it will be contributed between both. Contribution is also divided into three further segments. One is more tax burden falls on consumer, less on producers. And the second situation is more on producers, less on consumers. And the third scenario is when they both contribute equally. Equal tax burden falls on consumers as well as producers. If you are interested to know when it will entirely fall on consumer, I suggest to watch my other video. If you still feel any difficulty finding this amount of tax, then I suggest you to write in comment box. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.